So yesterday, I asked this question in my YouTube community. I said, I have a question for y'all. Women's invisible and unpaid labor prop up many organizations globally to the point where if women stay out, would crumble. Let's brainstorm some things that are held together by women's unpaid and invisible labor. I have said before that the church would crumble without women because women are volunteering our time. We're going to church. We're the ones paying the majority of the tithes because we're the majority of the people sitting in the pews. So without women, the church would crumble. And I said, what are some examples you've seen or been in personally? Another example that I have are these holiday meals where women are the ones doing all of the grocery shopping, the cleaning before a company comes. We're doing the cooking and the cleaning after a company leaves. So without women doing the unpaid and invisible labor, these family functions would cease to exist. And we're seeing a lot of that as women are opting out of doing all of this. So I'm going to get into some of the examples that the ladies said on this post. Jennifer says the public education system in the US is starting to fail because the teachers, mostly women, are no longer working long hours, putting up with no support from administration and entitled parents, and risking their lives with unruly students for low wages. We're also seeing a failure in the US long term healthcare, like assisted living. Many facilities are suffering a shortage of nursing assistants, food service workers, and janitorial workers because of the low wages. Most of these workers are women. A lot of nursing assistants are going private duty because although they get paid the same, they only have to take care of one patient instead of 10 patients. So the ROI, the return on investment, is harder being a private nurse. And gentrification at the bottom says room parents, the parents that stay in a teacher's room. She said room parents are often moms, and moms are typically the ones that are volunteering as chaperones on school field trips. Gen X Single Free says the entire service industry would crumble: restaurants, hotels, airlines, hospitals, education, retail, and more. Even the largest corporation in any sector would suffer. Clerical workers literally do all the legwork that it takes for these upper management and board members to make their multi-million dollar, billion dollar bills. Coco No LOL says, I took a half day on Monday in solidarity, couldn't take a full day for PTO reasons, but I was thinking how our company would crumble if women didn't work that day. Our accountant, our HR, our insurance person, three-quarters of the marketing team, and our top buyers are all women. That's just corporate, not to mention all the girlies working the registers and stocking the shelves. This place would sink without us. She continues with, they want women out of the workforce, but these men don't want to work. How will society function? And then to that, Janek says, I'm so sick of men acting like women working is a new phenomenon. When society was mostly agricultural, women and children worked in the homes and the fields. When the industrial age began, women and children worked in those factories. They had the worst jobs with the lowest pay, and that measly pay would have to be handed over to their husbands, fathers, brothers, or other male relatives because women were literally the property of men. They were literal property of men. So they had to hand over their money because those men were their owners. And if women want to go back to being under the control of men, then they will continue to vote with the R's. But if you don't want to be under the control of them, then you need to really think long and hard about how you vote. SM at the top says also indirectly, all the women who watch someone else's kids so they can work. That is invisible and unpaid. Gwen Casey says tech. As a female software engineer in a male dominated industry, these men's wives, girlfriends, and moms did everything for them and their children while they were in school, doing research, late nights, coding, etc. Software engineering is built around women's unpaid labor. That's why so few women do it or can stay because there's a big expectation that you can give a lot of time, anytime, and someone else is managing your life for you in the background. I had no idea about tech and that women were basically supporting these men in tech. Gentrification says men love to say that they are the head of households, but women are often the CEO and COO. Imagine trying to meal plan at the same time while you're thinking about your children's health because you're also the person who schedules and takes them to the doctor's appointments. Yes, because women are the ones doing most of these phone calls to make everything run and keep people healthy. That's something that we don't get any praise for. Like, oh, she made all of the phone calls. She's taking the kids to the dentist today. Alyssa says many of our children. She says many of our children would be doomed, and no one seems to really understand just how doomed. Some dads literally only have the mentality that the kid is alive, and that's success, instead of the child being nurtured in any way. Everyone wants to complain about how the courts give the main custody to the mother while also not recognizing the fact that she has been their main caretaker. Definitely not me having flashbacks of 11-year-old me terrified of my parents' divorce, afraid I'll end up with my dad because my dad had no idea patient's desire to take care of us. I remember thinking that I had it bad. Then I get to high school and found out about a boy in another school who had liver failure or something due to his father giving him cough medicine to go to sleep during his visitation time because he didn't want to be a parent. I literally thought my clothes didn't get washed, but at least my organs work. Research and review says looking back and today at where women provided free or underpaid or expected to work extra hours for no extra pay, younger or new employees expected to work extra hours or every holiday, not just for the first year, but for years, and pressured or passed over to not apply for different work shift, and then surprised that the younger generation will apply for and get better paying hours worked jobs elsewhere. You're supposed to be grateful for any job as a woman and never leave. Unmarried or newly married women are expected to work full time. But then, if she becomes a mom or a grandma, she's expected to work part time during school hours or a different shift to basically to not pay daycare, or family expects grandma to babysit. Coaches helping fundraisers for sports and all of that. And that is definitely true. Who is running the fundraisers, the volunteering, the gathering of all of the supplies for these projects? Really, really think about who is doing all of that. And that's things that are done in the background. Like when someone needs some duct tape or something like that, I need a science fair board. There are so many things that are being done in the background, the scheduling, the organization. So that's why I said, what are some of the invisible things, the unpaid things that get taken for granted? Go ahead and think on any examples that you have seen in your personal life, or that you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because a lot of the things, if you had to do by yourself, every little thing, that's definitely work when you have to really think about all of the pieces of the puzzle that goes into running anything, even a small operation. So jump in the comments, let me know what you think, what your ideas are, and what you think would crumble without invisible or unpaid labor. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.